Randy
Absolutely.
Neugebauer, welcome to the program. Good morning. It's Monday.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Laura. How are
Good
y'all this
morning.
morning? I know that y'all get up early.
Yes,
Yes.
we
Okay.
do indeed.
Yeah.
Sometimes not very happily, but we do get up.
Okay, Randy, watching some news reports, and you kind of feel like you take everything with a grain of salt, when it comes to, foreign policy and things on the other side of the globe. Yesterday I was watching a discouraging story about Yemen, and then I was watching a guy that was sitting there saying Yemen's going to be the next Benghazi. How do we go from, as the administration would say, it was a situation that was under control, to so far out of control and, looking at the brink of a civil war in a matter of 60 days?
Yeah, Tom, I was thinking about that this morning. It wasn't just that a few months ago that the president was kind of pointing to Yemen as some kind of a success story. And, it's far from a success story. And now, as you said, a huge civil war has broke out into that country. And it's just to add that to another list of countries in the Middle East right now that are in disarray.
Do you feel that when we evacuated our special ops people out of there, did you feel like that was really the straw that broke the camel's back? Or do you think they were evacuated out of there because they were thinking it was going to be the next Benghazi?
Well, I don't have any, intel on that, but you got to believe that they don't want another Benghazi, because the Benghazi that they had before is still alive and well and kicking, and that investigation continues. But, if our soldiers were in danger, and, then we should pull them out, or refortify, the troops that we had over there. So you either have to do one or the other. If you're not going to send more troops in to shore up the situation, then you've got to pull them out.
Yeah. All right. Is there any backlash continuing on the arms and everything that were laid down at the airport? Is any of that still, a concern of resurfacing? What's the discussion there?
Well, I think any time that we've seen situations in the Middle East where, arms that we have furnished, in many cases where the regime retreats or leaves those behind, then the question is whose hands do those arms get into? And now I'm not sure exactly what arms that our folks left behind versus what arms we had furnished, for some of the country, and certainly that's something will be looked into. But when you're evacuating, in some cases you may have to leave some things behind that you didn't really want to leave behind if you're having to do it in a hurry.
Right, I get it. All right, Randy Neugebauer hanging out with Lubbock's First News. KFYO, this is Lubbock's First News. That's Pink Floyd, and this is Congressman Randy Neugebauer. Hey, Randy, who you rocking with, man?
Yeah, rock and roll, baby.
All right, that's Pink Floyd's Money. Let's talk the budget. We got that vote coming up before too long, and I would imagine that it's going to get a little bit more heated as we get closer to this. Right now, all of the turmoil and unrest around the world's kind of got the eyeball focused on them. But where are we at on the budget, and what's happening?
Well, the first thing is we've got an $18 trillion deficit, debt in this country, and we're trying to do something about that. And so there'll be a number of budgets brought on the House floor. The Republicans will bring a budget. Republican Study Committee, which I'm a member of, a conservative Republican group, will have a budget. The progressives, the liberals, they'll all have budgets. And the important thing here, Tom, is that if we can get the budget done in the House and the Senate, then there is an opportunity that we could then get under a process called reconciliation, where we could get a vote to repeal Obamacare. So that's the reason it's going to be very important that both the House and the Senate get that. And over the last few years, we haven't had a lot of occasions where the House and the Senate have both had a budget. So that'll be one of the main topics for this week.
Okay, what's your feeling? Does it look like that there's going to be an agreement from both houses?
Well, I think what you'll have is that you'll have the House and the Senate will pass a budget, and I think we'll agree on a budget resolution. Now, the interesting thing about a budget resolution, Tom, it doesn't have to be signed by the president. So if the Republicans in the House and the Senate can come to an agreement, then we should have a budget. And
well, this is basically what you're saying, that's a funding issue.
It is. It's a blueprint. There's two things. We have a budget which sets the spending levels for the appropriation process. And so if we can agree on the overall budget or blueprint, then obviously the appropriation bills will be set after that. But there's also, and it's a very complex, and I don't know if we even have time on the program this morning to explain it, but a process called reconciliation, where you call for different departments to reconcile or to, come up with a certain amount of savings, and that becomes a binding part of the budget resolution. Whether the president will sign that or not, the appropriation part, but it is an opportunity to send the policy to the president that he would have to veto.
Well, I guess in layman's terms, that would mean we're evaluating budgetary cuts in certain areas.
Exactly, and policy decisions. Reforming, eliminating Obamacare, reforming some of the entitlement programs. Setting a blueprint that over the next 9 years, if we were to follow this blueprint, we would balance the budget in about 9 years.
Okay, I got one for you before we hit the break, man. I was kind of looking at my books and stuff like that and calculating potential taxes on earnings, and gains.
Yes.
Corporate tax is over 39%. After you get past, what is it, 125, 150,000 in earnings? That's just nuts, man.
Yeah, we have the highest, corporate. Well, we have the highest tax rates in the world now, and particularly we have the highest corporate tax rate in the world. After I think it was Japan lowered theirs, and so it is, and we need tax reform. We have a government that has an insatiable appetite to spend, and we got to stop spending money, number one, that we don't have, and we need to start letting the hardworking American taxpayers have more of a decision over how to spend that money than the government.
Well, let me tell you something. December 23rd, I'm very thankful that we put that 179 depreciation schedule back in the mix for 2014 retroactive. Man, that's saving the bacon, man. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. Randy Neugebauer on the line with us. Good morning. Hey, Randy, got about maybe a minute and a half. What we got going on with the art contest?
I know it's hard to believe it's that time of year again, but every year we have the Congressional Art Competition, and that's where high school students all across the 19th District can enter their artwork into a contest that the winner of which will be hung their art will be hung in the United States Capitol for visitors and members of Congress and everybody that's in the Capitol building to see. And so if you've got an inspiring artist in your family or a neighbor, grandson, nephew, whatever, that's in high school and it's a pretty good artist, we encourage them to contact Lisa Brooks, and you can dial our toll-free number at 888-763-1611. That's 888-763-1611. Or you can go to our website at randy.house.gov to learn more about it. But it's always fun to see how talented these young men and women in our district are. We've got some pretty good artists in the 19th District.
Yes, we do.
Okay, Congressman, what's on the plate for a little bit later today?
Well, today is first votes back, but like I said, the doc fix, which is something that has to do with Medicare, a policy that we've not addressed over the years, that'll be up this week. The budget will be up this week. We're having hearings. We're going to mark up some bills on Wednesday that will help our community bankers continue to do what they do best, and that's loan to their customers. And so there's just a lot of things going on in D.C. right now.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate you checking in with us this morning. Have a great day, okay?
You bet. Take care.
Hey, do something about that corporate tax, would you? 39% for crying out loud.